Yes, indeed. Welcome back. It is Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in to Dating University. I am your co-host, Professor Charles, along with my lovely co-host,
Professor Brittany in the building.
You already know. And like I said, we are Dating University. Here we discuss the good,
the bad,
and the ugly
of all things dating and relationships.
Absolutely, man. We got a good one tonight, y'all. We got a very special guest in the building. JS1. The visionary of the Baltimore Media Coalition. I mean, the man is bringing together a huge amount of people, a huge amount of talent, all up under the same roof to kind of collaborate, network, move forward, change the narrative, and control the narrative. Give it up, everybody, once again for JS1.
Thank you. Hold on. I wish I could clap, but I'm holding the phone.
Yes.
It's all good. Again,
we are so appreciative, and we just want to welcome you. This is your show. Your show is our show. Our show is your show. So definitely relax, be yourself, be true to your opinion, and let's get it going.
I can do that very easily, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And you know what I'm saying? I still owe y'all a live show, and I promise I'm going to make that happen. I'm good on my promises.
Can't
wait.
Looking forward to it. This episode is brought to you by us, Dating University. Go ahead, if you are so inclined to go ahead, check out our merch shop, help support the channel, help us to bring you better, newer, bigger productions, events, so forth and so on. Again, go to du-shop.creator-spring.com. Links are in everything that we have on all of our social media. Hit the link and you'll find right to our shop. Let's see, what other housekeeping things do we have to do today, Brittany? You got anything?
No, just be on the lookout. Dating University is doing some major things behind the scenes. And, just keep supporting us, showing up to class on Thursday evenings, engaging with us throughout the week, and just keep being y'all. Thank you so much for the support.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
We love our podcast listeners.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all so much, man.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, indeed.
I have a fun opening question before we start the show.
Okay, what you got?
So, growing up, right? We were kids. We were in kindergarten, pre-K, first grade. What did you want to be when you grew up? What did you want to be?
Wow. That is a great question.
What did you want to be?
Okay, so I wanted to be an architect.
Really?
Until I realized that it required a whole lot of math, and I wasn't good at math. But I don't tell a lot of people this. I don't think I've ever said this on a public platform before. But like ever since I was in elementary school, I always had a crew. And like even in elementary school, I used to come up with like special, like I would hand draw like little logos, and I would give them to all of my homeboys, and we would all
Are
have
you
our own like click
serious?
name and all.
So much
Yeah,
fun.
we used to do all of
No, I
that.
did the
So
same thing. That's
yeah,
incredible.
I
Wow.
was definitely a very much a, oh, we gonna be a crew and we all gonna do things together as a squad. So I think one of my passions was always to be a part of a collective and do things as a collective. I don't know if that's weird or not, but that's
No, not at all. Charles, what did you want to be when you grew up?
What didn't I want to be when I was
Oh
growing
wow.
up?
Okay.
I
You
had
wanted to do it
so
all.
many different ideas of what I wanted to be, from being a veterinarian.
Okay.
I wanted to be a clothing designer. I wanted to be
Nice.
I wanted, and this is a little on the morbid side, but I
Here we
was
go.
like, what job can I get that will always be there? And I wanted to do crime scene cleanup.
Man, that's
Yeah,
lit.
I would have never guessed that,
That's lit.
Charles.
yeah. Like I was really,
I would have never guessed that of you.
If
Okay.
I could
I
if I
was
could
really
deal with
having,
dead bodies and blood, I would be all on that. But
Right.
Mhm.
I can't do anything dead. The moment something dead, I can't touch it or be near it. That's just me.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm the
But
same
see,
way.
the thing
Like I've
about it
always
is, like you're coming in like after the body has been moved or bodies have been moved out. You're just there to clean up the good. So,
Yeah, but it can get pretty gory though. So
oh yeah,
you have
absolutely,
to have a
absolutely.
stomach for the smell
Mhm.
and tolerance for the sight. So
Oh
there
yeah,
are a lot
yeah.
of your senses being heightened when you're on those kind of scenes.
Agreed.
That. Yeah. I remember I always wanted to be a geriatric doctor. Like I loved my grandparents so much that I wanted to work with older people.
Gotcha.
And then I wanted to be a doctor because I wanted to just be something bigger. Like when you were growing up in our area, being a doctor was like the thing. Like I want to be a doctor. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be a old people doctor. And so I just said geriatric because I'm older and know the vocabulary. So until they told me, I think I was watching an episode of A Different World and they were working on the cadavers. And I realized I have to work on dead bodies as a way to become a doctor. And like JS1 and like dead bodies give me the heebie-jeebies. So
thank you.
I was like, you know what? I can't skip that part. That's a really major part.
Right.
So I guess I'm gonna have to hang up my dream.
Facts.
It's something. I mean, it really is, because I was in my last job, I was blessed to kind of I worked in an adult ED, and so we had like residents and everything, and they all had to take different courses and whatever. And I was actually blessed to kind of sit in on one of those cadaver classes. Like, yeah, it's something. It is.
Did they show the face?
Yeah, you're like face to face with the person. Yeah, so a lot of it was more like intubation stuff, and but yeah, it's not necessarily like
Okay.
It was cool though. It was really, really cool. Like I loved it. It brought up that whole like the resurgence of me wanting to be like doing crime scene cleanup. I'm not gonna do it, but it just brought it up.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm so excited for tonight's show. This is definitely an interesting topic that I think that we need to explore, and that is dating from an entrepreneur's standpoint. Yeah, so how is it dating as an entrepreneur? And so we're excited to discuss this with JS1. So let's dive into our first question. JS1, tell us about your journey to entrepreneurship.
Oh, that's a really good question. All right, so I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My dad has owned his own construction company since before I was born. His father owned his own painting company before he was born. My grandfather on my mother's side had his own thing. My uncles had their own businesses. So like kind of being born into that world,
Wow.
in the way of my earliest memories working was for, the family company, and them being and it's crazy because I was just talking about this like a few minutes ago, that your whole life becomes lessons that you end up finding out have a lot to do with owning your own business. Like,
Yes.
being a man of your word, and worrying about your responsibility. And if your job is to sweep the floors the best you can. And
Mm-hmm.
when you get the next job, you do that job and you kill it. And learning how to manage employees, and managing employees that might be on drugs, or because construction has a lot of different characters
Yeah.
of different types. So you have experts who are very specific about what they do. They're very egotistical, but then you'll have people with all different types of issues. And my family has always been very much about Black empowerment, and about trying to give Black people opportunities. And like my father, even though it could be cheaper to deal with Hispanic people, he would much rather hire, Black contractors to do stuff. So like
Awesome.
I've always been a part of that world. So when I got to a point of growing up, it was even hard for me to function within regular jobs, because
Interesting.
I tell people like this, like, and the only example I could give that it seems that people can understand is, if you in the country, right, and you meet some old white dude and he's a farmer or he's got his own thing, he talks with an accent, he doesn't use correct English, and he definitely doesn't care about, impressing you, because he makes money doing what he's doing. So you either gonna deal with him the way he wants you to deal with him, or you can go on about your business. And when you're confident and you're skilled and you have a customer base, you kind of develop a certain mentality where you don't allow people to push you around. You don't allow a lot of, and you are very much who you are. So in a corporate environment, you have to curb your speech. You have to
That
curb
code
how
switching. Talk about it.
you have to do a lot of code switching.
Hello, how are you today?
Exactly. The problem that I have is, as much
You
as I
lose your
try my best to
creativity.
code switch, I am not good at it, because even on an unconscious level, there are things that are commonplace for me, but people have been like, oh my God, did he just say that? Or, oh my God, is he this type of person? So even though I might have a good heart and I'm very straightforward and honest, in a corporate environment, being straightforward and honest isn't always the best thing. It's not always wanted. It's not always appreciated. So unfortunately, as much as I could try to go for different which I have applied for tons of corporate jobs, but I just don't have a place in that world. So you kind of are, not forced, but unless you're really about to change who you are to adapt to that type of world, it kind of works out better to be on your own. So like that is definitely a huge part of my existence and a reality that I had to come to grips with. And it's very hard to get to that point.
Wow. That's I mean, you said something there, as far as like the not being able to fit into it. And I think a lot of us who, went that route of like corporate America, like I feel like a lot of us are coming to that stage where like, yeah, no, I can't do this no more.
Right.
Everybody's looking for a side hustle to make another side hustle to make that their permanent gig, the way they can leave and they can be their own boss. Right. I know I have like that stifling feeling of like not being my creative self, not being in charge of what it is I want to do for the day. How do I managing how can I do this work when I really want to be doing that work? It's weighing on me heavy.
Absolutely. Which is why we're grinding the way that we're grinding. So it's all for a greater purpose. Now, JS1, it wouldn't be Dating University if I didn't get personal. So can you tell us your relationship status as of today?
I am single, 100% single.
Ooh, ladies, y'all heard it here first.
And for those that think that they're with him, womp, womp, womp. Sorry to disappoint. Because you have some people that you go on a date or two, you talk on the phone, you text, and it's like we go together. But you heard it here first. JS1 is completely single. So, ladies, if you see, he looks like he's a teddy bear. He's a handsome teddy bear. So, they never go out of style. That's one
Not
thing.
ever.
They're like bell-bottom jeans. They're like bell-bottom jeans. They never go out of style.
I will take that compliment. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I like bell-bottom jeans. I like
Okay, there you go.
So, I said it. And I'm like, not really a good example, but y'all know what I mean.
It's out there in the ether now, so
yeah, it's fine. You all wear bell-bottom
jeans. If y'all love
right?
Professor Brittany, go ahead and send her a pair of
bell-bottom jeans. I've started totally off topic, but we'll get back on quickly. I started wearing jeans a lot more, so I think that's probably why I said that.
Okay, gotcha. We gotta get you caught up. You going through. You're going through your jeans phase. Okay, we'll get you going.
Yes. So I'm glad you're single. So today's show will not get you into trouble. Good to know.
No.
Great. Okay.
Even if I was in a relationship, it wouldn't get me into trouble.
Okay.
Oh shoot! When he said, "If you ain't married, you single."
Let's go. Let's go, Winnie. Tell him. Let's go. Okay. So let's dive in. It's gonna be a great interview. I'm so curious because I've never been an entrepreneur, but I've dated several, and
really,
you can see I'm not married to one. So
it's not easy. The lifestyle is not easy.
It's not easy. It is not easy. So let's dive in. Charles, do you have the next question?
Yeah. So like, give us some insight into like the advantages and some of the drawbacks of dating as an entrepreneur. Like,
oh, okay. So I'm so glad you asked that question. So I can tell you the list of advantages is I control my schedule. So say if you wanted me to stay over tonight and you wanted to have breakfast in the morning, being the type of person I am, I can make calls and say, hey, I'm not available for this, or I got to do that. Even when I'm doing business with family, if I want to do whatever I want to do, I can just kind of do that as long as I get whatever I'm supposed to get done. Another advantage is there are times when you have large influx of capital where things can happen. Like, you know what I mean? You get a big drop of cash and you want to take a weekend trip, or you want to go out.
I love those.
There are blessings that come along with that world. In addition to having somebody that is very driven, dating somebody that's an entrepreneur. I say entrepreneurs are very driven. They have a different way of thinking. And then normally all of the good entrepreneurs I know are always very encouraging and supportive. And like, we always push anybody around us, like all of my friends, I'm constantly pushing them and helping them to like, yo, you want to get something going? Let's go. Like, what can I help you with? Like, you want to tap into some of my customers? Like, how can I help you? So like all of the good entrepreneurs are genuinely good people. If you're in this space, we know the trials and tribulations of that world, and we do our best to try to be a support system to those that we love and the people that are around us. Those are the good things. The bad things are there are times when the work is paramount, because we cannot just clock out at a certain time and say, well, I don't need to think about this now. So there are times when the work becomes a priority. There are times when the money has to be invested in something. So, there have been times when I might have had something planned and life has a way of doing what it's got to do. And hey, I got to take this money and I've got to invest it in, or I got to do what I got to do. And you might have to wait a couple of days to do whatever.
It's peanut butter and jelly week.
Right. Yeah.
And it's Charles talking about the chunky peanut butter.
Right.
The bread that's done crusted over.
Right.
The crust is falling off.
Right.
It melts in your mouth.
You are correct. There are times when it is necessary for me to do things that may be unorthodox, whereas I might have to go to certain events, or I have to be in certain places, and I have to shake hands and hug people and laugh and just be the most personable person in the world. And that individual I might be dating, which I try to avoid those type of people, really want and need a certain level of attention, and I cannot give it to them at all times. Or it's hard because if you're dating somebody that is insecure, And I have a tendency to
Man.
be a social butterfly. And to be honest with you, I heard somebody say this earlier. They was like, Jay, you're just a social person. And I'm like, I'm not.
Like
I
I'm
just
not.
know how to
I
turn
just
it on and off when it's necessary. Like I don't have a choice of saying I don't want to be social. If I'm in a room
exactly.
and there's a millionaire over there and I know that he's trying to, or my peoples are plugging me into something, I've got to turn that switch on and I've got to
Yep.
be social. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean I'm crossing lines and it doesn't mean I'm trying to take
Ex-
somebody home. It just means that I have to engage. And that means that I can't bring you front face in a conversation or even that, like, you know what I mean? I have to be a business person, and that really does not always meld well, depending on the type of person you're dating. You know,
You ain't never lied.
exactly. I think the last thing is
Wow.
you have it as a business person, your whole life becomes a set of numbers. And we have a very organized, if you're good at what you do, every part of your life becomes a very organized menagerie. So
Mhm.
like where they'll be wanting
Wow.
to just binge on certain things, like, oh, we want to spend some extra cash, and we know not to do that. So like you want to do a weekend and you just want to blow a check. And I am never, I don't care how much money, I'm not about to blow no whole check
Nah,
because I don't
mhm.
know. And I've had this conversation with, yay, babe, I don't know when the next drop of cash is coming from. So just because I might have X amount of racks in my pocket or in a bank account does not mean that we get to go crazy. This has to tide me over just in case ABC, X, Y, and Z happens. And that is very irritating because for somebody who is used to a normal pay period, they
Mhm.
can, you know, all right, if I mess up this one check, I know I got a check coming behind and I can make it up for
Right.
them. But we don't
Right.
have that all of the time. So that is that. You know what I mean? I think those are the only setbacks for me. There are a ton of other things you can say, like your phone ringing super late at night, or you
Mhm.
know,
No,
having
these are
different
good.
people, yeah, having different personalities around you that your partner may not be able to deal with. But
Mhm.
I've dated long enough to realize that I'm going to tell the person I'm dating up front, like, if you can't deal with a lot of personalities, then you may not want to date me, because I
Mm.
am dealing with people whom are sweet angels that would are like Mother Teresa, and I'm dealing with the devil himself sometimes. Like,
Mhm.
if you are not able to deal with the swings of personalities, then it's best if we not date, because I'm not saying that you got to be best friends with these people, but you have to learn how to smile, to be
Yes.
cordial, and
Yes.
move on.
And
And a
and a,
lot of people aren't
yeah,
are,
it's
are
a
used to
slight it's a slight deference that you have to have
that.
when it comes to these kind of situations, because especially if you're looking for someone who's in a let's just say a higher station.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of humbleness that you had to have about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be when you got to be a chameleon
Mm-hmm.
in those spaces. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you were saying, like if you're in a room full of people, like you say, there are tons of personalities, there are tons of
Mm-hmm.
character traits, there are tons of different types of money in that room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be able to switch on the fly. And then if you're not dealing with a like you said, a secure partner, or someone who has
That
a
part.
strong mental capacity to be able to compartmentalize, they're going to look at you like, oh, you phony. Like, you can switch and
Mm-hmm.
switch and switch and switch. You just
Phony.
going to switch with
Mm-hmm.
me? And be like, nah, like, look,
Mm-hmm.
the game. This is what we got to do. This is what I have to do in order to get
Mm-hmm.
those, those weekends that you like. This is just what it is. It's hard.
Right. And then
I mean,
I would like to add
entrepreneur.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
Mm,
When you are conducting business, one thing I learned is that people that make a lot of money, the more money you make, the more eccentric you become, or you're just an eccentric person in general. And
mm,
the more eccentric the person, the less personable a lot of them are, for whatever life brings them into that space. And it really takes a particular person to deal with eccentric people. And a
yes.
lot of times when you're dating people that are not in the business world, they think that business is very black and white. And it is not black and white at all. Business is very much thousands of shades of gray. And it takes a lot to be able to navigate that world and to deal with it. And you can't be emotional a lot of times. So when you're going through financial different situations, or you're dealing with different people, and there's a deal on the table, and they asking you every day, is the deal done? Did you get the check? Did you get the check? And you be like, chill, like, it
Right.
takes time. Well, what you doing?
It's
Well, why they don't just give you the money? Well, they just being crazy. They should have just, don't they know? And it's just like, yo, chill.
No, but that's very, I mean, that's very interesting. If we look at entrepreneurship, especially on our level, not looking at people like Diddy Combs and extremely affluent and wealthy people, money matters. So, um,
man.
I have a
You can't. It's
question.
like you got to be hungry but not thirsty. It's weird.
Right,
Here's my
exactly.
question though. Does your mood change depending on where you are with your cash flow? Because I've dated entrepreneurs, and when the money's coming in and the checks are coming in, oh yeah, we're going on dates. Their ego is high, their confidence is high, their drive is high. But with things that go up, sometimes stuff got to come down. So you have slow seasons. How does that impact your psyche? Is your confidence still up here?
I
Is your
can
willingness to date still up here? Is how you treat the people that you're dating still up here? Or
okay. I can answer
is
that
it
question
around low?
quite easily. The most successful space in my life, in my own businesses, I was the most scared and I was the most fearful. I literally got up and went to sleep every day, scared shitless that the other shoe was going to drop and something was going to go wrong. And it's like, yo, everything's going too right. Mainly because I spent 12 years, probably like 7 or 8 years, with things never going right. And then all of a sudden you find a formula that works, and then money starts flowing really crazy. And you're like, what the hell is going on? And because you're so used to things going wrong, the blessing was I didn't my ego I never allowed my ego to come out. I never allowed myself to be arrogant. I never allowed myself to even enjoy it, because the only thing I kept doing is like, I got to continue to make sure that this cash continues to flow. And I was planning on the next thing, because I kept thinking to myself, this is only going to work for so long. I need to make sure the next thing is en route. Now, as far as dating and loving and being in relationships, I feel like I've always been grounded in that space because I come from a world of entrepreneurs. So like, I understand what it's like to have money and not have money. So it doesn't really excite me, and it doesn't change who I am. I never caught a big check and was like, yo, I'm the man. Like, never. Even my homeboy,
I'm done. I can retire.
Right. My whole
And it's like $3,000. Okay.
There was There was a point where the entire Baltimore entertainment industry was like, you're the man, Jay. And I would be like, no, I'm not. Like, because I knew that I wasn't in that space, but everybody in the world thought I was in that space. And I was like, nah, my nigga, nah. Like, excuse me, I don't mean to use the word nigga, but I just was never in that space, because most of my life was very much being rejected, or being not appreciated, or not being seen. So when I became seen, it was really all about me holding tighter to the people I love. So, keeping my friends around, keeping the real people around me, and blessing and showering praise and opportunity on those that helped me when I was coming up. It was very much about that, because I was like, now I'm in position. I want anybody around me that I know are good people, I want to get them in position, because I want to be able to trust the people that are on my level. You know what I mean? And that's where I was. Now, dealing in relationships was horrible for me at that time, because I just wasn't focused on my personal anything. So it was like, haircuts was thirdary, outfits were thirdary. It was like, bro, I'm getting this money and I'm totally focused on that. And that's where things kind of went left. You know what I'm saying? So I just, it just didn't work out in that time period.
Yeah, and it takes a certain type of person to deal with an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Because you have those moments where you're just, you're nose to the grindstone, like you're in the zone. Like, you're like, you look at Jay-Z, like you were saying, when he's in album mode, he just lets it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, hair goes, you know what I'm saying? He don't care how he looks, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He's in that mode. And it's good that he's with another creative who understands that process. You're birthing something, you're creating something from your soul, from the depths. You know what I'm saying? So when when you're in that mindset, you know, a lot of people don't understand it because they look at you like, oh, you're being selfish. Like, no, I'm not being selfish. I am literally trying to birth this idea that I had in my head. It was thought about this big. And if I wouldn't have did nothing with it, it would have stayed that big. And then now I have an opportunity to grow it and make it bigger, make it better, make it come into fruition. And I'm in that process, and you're looking at me like I'm weird. Like, no, like I am trying to get this done because I'm not looking at, you know, oh, I missed 2 date nights in a row. Oh, I didn't get my hair cut this week. Oh, I'm, you know, like, did I shower today? I don't know, but I'm, you know, it's that sort of thing. So we really have to make sure the people that we're inviting into our space understands the type of person that you are, understands, you know, what your vision is, because otherwise you're always going to be starting over with somebody new.
Right. And I mean, first impressions matter. So I know me personally, I have so many misconceptions about entrepreneurs because my exposure to them have not been the best. When I'm on these dating profiles and I see, you know, job occupation and I see entrepreneur, I'm intrigued. My interest is piqued. So I talked to one individual and he's like, oh, I'm a part of insert bankrupt company here. Why don't you join my team? Be your own boss. And so it went from like first date to let me recruit you to be a part of my team. So that second guy that I met, again, job occupation, entrepreneur. So I'm like, great. Like, I love the hustle. And he's like, yeah, you know, today I'm going to just, you know, be at my mom's house on the couch, just kind of, you know, doing my own thing. I'm like, well, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I sell t-shirts, you know, little t-shirt here, little t-shirt there. Do you have a company? Do you have a brand? And he's like, not really. Like, just tell me what you want and I do it. And
yeah, that's like, a hustle. I try to tell people there's a difference between a hustle and a business.
It's and we overuse the word entrepreneur,
and that's where I was going. We overuse that term so much,
and we're not using it in the right context.
Exactly. So that was all the time. Question. Like, what are some misconceptions that you've encountered as an entrepreneur when people were trying to date you?
Well, the fact that I've got big time money to just drop on them all day long. Also, a lot of people come in and I meet them and they want to lecture me about what they feel like business is, but they have jobs. And so they're like, you ain't doing it right because you should be doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, every business is different and every situation is different. And for you to try to summate what my process is and what my journey is based on a short conversation without being fully immersed into what I do, I think that's a little ignorant and a little disrespectful. The biggest misconception people have is that you have it all. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, you should have it all figured out. No, like the other misconception is that, you know, when you're making money, that it's always going to flow. No, that's not a reality. The other misconception is that, you know, I mean, I could go on.
I mean, people think entrepreneurs are broke, like on the opposite end of the spectrum.
I tell people
entrepreneur, they're like, oh, no stability. That means, you know, unexpected income. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I could agree with you on that. There are times, I like I said earlier, there are always going to be times when you're flush with cash, and there are times when things may be tight. But if you are smart about what you're doing, you're never going to not be able to pay bills, because there's no point in you having a business and doing it full time if you are not able to sustain your life. Now, me being able to buy Yeezys and new outfits every week, and that's where I hit a wall in dating when I was full time out there all day every day, is that women felt like, yo, you need to be lit out here. Why you don't just go and buy all of this? And it's just like, and I used to say on dates, I live on a budget, and they thought that was the most ignorant. You live on a budget? What you mean? Like, meaning I have a budget, meaning that yes, I might be bringing in X amount of dollars, but that's not for me to spend. If I bring in $10,000 this month, I don't have $10,000 to spend.
I
I
mean,
might have $2,000 to spend, and the other $8,000 have to be invested back into the business or to
this
pay for
is so
expenses or bills or
interesting.
whatever. So like if I'm a good business person or I'm a person that is smart about my money, I am going to live within the $2,000 I have to spend on myself. And that $2,000 isn't for Yeezys. It's for rent. It's for BG&E. It's for food. It's for gas, car insurance, car payment. Those things are essentials. And then I might have $400 or $500 a month to expend on going out on a date. And I'm not about to spend the $500 on the date.
On
I
that
want to
one
go out.
damn day. Amen.
Exactly. So when I tell you, hey, tonight I'm spending $100, she might turn her nose up. But when that happens, I realize that you're not somebody I need to be with. Why? Because you're not understanding that, like, it's not about me not liking you, or like if you were worth it, I would spend the whole $5. It's like, no, like, hey, if you take this $100 meal today, I can do another $100 meal next week. And then I can come over to the house and I can, buy you some flowers or whatever. I can do small things throughout the month to make it valuable. But if you want to just blow a lump of cash at one point, then what are we going to do the rest of the month? Because not saying never, but I very rarely meet a woman that is excited to, after I spend some money now, they're about to go dump a bunch of bread into the relationship. Normally, it's the man that invests financially into the relationship. So I have to be pragmatic about how I invest so that there can be organized, explosive moments of excitement and happiness so she can feel appreciated throughout the month.
I mean, JS1, that's great to hear. And I really appreciate your perspective.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like you're not happy. I'm about to get blasted.
It's not about my level of happiness, but I've never met an entrepreneur like you. So you're opening up my mind, and you're dispelling some of the misconceptions and stereotypes that I've given to the entrepreneurs that I've dated and met online. Like the entrepreneurs that I dated, they were money conscious when it came to their money, but they were not money conscious when it came to mine, because they had the ideal of, well, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, so your money is disposable and you'll have it replenished in 2 weeks. So why don't you pay for this? So they had no problem spending my money. But when it came time for them, it's like, but I'm an entrepreneur. You have to respect my coin, respect my bag.
Right. So if I may jump in, like, I come from a two-parent household. My mother's last job that she held down was in 1980 something.
I love it.
And she was working at Constant Care, which was down off of Pennsylvania Avenue. Okay. And she got to a point where she got irritated and didn't want to deal with them people no more. And, my dad was flipping houses and we were doing construction.
Really?
She quit her job. And my dad paid 100% of the bills from that point. And I was probably 8 years old. And she still ain't got a job now. And they just celebrated their 42nd anniversary.
Whoop,
like, whoop. So when I have conversations pertaining to relationships, the male person that I look up to is a provider. And my dad would look at me crazy if I was to be like, yeah, so Shorty's paying for, he's going to be like, excuse me? He might punch me in my face. Like dead ass, like not even playing. Like, yo, my family would look at me as a disgrace if I were to allow some woman, like, let me tell you, I had one girlfriend. We were dating and I had like ended the lease on one of my apartments. I didn't have a place to go. And she was like, why don't you come stay with me until you find a place? I said, I told her, I said, baby, I love you, but I will sleep on every one of my homeboys' couches for the next 10 years before I would come stay with you. And it's not because I don't love you. It's just as a man, I ain't living off no woman. I'm not living off of no woman. And this is not to be disrespectful or anything. It's just that I was taught to stand on my own feet. I was taught to do what I need to do for myself. Like, I don't mind every now and then if you want to pick up a meal or if you want to surprise me with a little gift or something.
Sure,
but I do what I got to do for me, bro. And if I want you to be my wife, and if I'm going to be the leader of the relationship, I need to be able to handle my responsibilities. That does not mean we cannot be partners, and that does not mean that there at some point in time we may not share an expense or a bill, but I must come to the table with whatever my responsibility is. And if we're going to share, it's sharing, not you do and I sit at home. I'm not with none of that.
I love it.
We're gonna
Never
pass.
been with it.
We're gonna pass the collection plate around at this time.
Y'all been bringing the heat the past couple weeks. I love it. I love having guest professors.
Benediction is here and now. But good God.
Here's the other part that turned me off from dating entrepreneurs. Don't job shame me. Like,
I would never do that. I would never do that.
Why you ain't got no LLC?
It's kind of like, you okay working for the man? Like you're creative and you rather sit at a man's desk from 9 to 5 when you're killing your dream every day you go to work for somebody else. And it's like, why can't I do what I want to do? At the heart of it all, watch this. You're still working for somebody, even if it's yourself.
Because you're your own boss. That means you still have to answer to yourself. You have to answer to the bill man. You got to answer to your customers. You got to. It's a lot. It's a lot. Oh my goodness.
If I may jump in, I would. Yeah. First of all, I'm jealous of anybody that get regular bread and only have to clock in from their 9 to 5. I admire those people. I wish I could exist in that space. You know what I'm saying? And I would never shame nobody. Like, cause honestly, I feel like there's a part of me that always wanted to be in that space. I never wanted to be a leader. I never wanted to be you know what I mean? But it's for all of the situations that I've incurred in my life, it has always worked for me to just do it myself. So like, it just worked out better if, all right, I'm sitting there waiting for my homeboys to get together. And it just seems like, y'all niggas is going way around Robin Hood's barn. Look. And then like you get frustrated because you sitting there doing dumb shit and you be like, look, just do this, and do this. And here's the money. Okay, let's just do it. And then that's how, and they'll be like, well, since you know what you're doing, then just do it. So all of my situations have been that way. But if I could if I could be accepted for who I am and have a regular job, man, I would love that. So I'm never going to shame another person for working. Like, nah, I respect that. That's bread in that. But there are certain spaces that work for some people and then other spaces work for other people. You know what I mean? No. And I think that's disrespectful. You should never judge another person for any reason. I don't care what it is.
Right.
As long as you're getting up every day and working, that's it.
Like you said, being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. And working a 9 to 5 is not for everyone. It's like forcing a circle into a square. I am someone where I handle no with ease. Like, I can never be a car salesman because if I pitch my life to you and I pitch the hell out of this car and I say, do you want it? And they're like, no. Have a great day and God bless. You have true salespeople, true entrepreneurs that take that no and it just grinds them up to want to keep on and keep trucking along. Me, I'm going home and I'm having some cranberry juice and I'm going to watch my Netflix and I may give up. Like, it's not in me. So when people tell me, Britt, come on, you got this. You can do this. You can start your own business. I'm doing what I want. How about that? Like, I'm pretty self-aware and emotionally intelligent enough to know what works for me and what does not work for me. Like, I could not handle not having a steady source of income. My bills are not scattered with my income. Those bills come once a month.
One time.
12 times a year. And I need to make sure I have money in that account for those 12 times for those bills. So yeah, me not having money is not going to make me go to bed and get up and say, gotta grind harder. It's like, oh my gosh, what the hell?
Exactly.
And if I may jump in, I just wanted to add something on what you just said, because what you said is so amazing and so serious. It takes a certain level of experience and calm to be able to function when there's no money and the bills are due and things are stacking up against you. Exactly. It really takes a certain mentality because you cannot make the wrong moves and you can't get excited to start doing crazy stuff. And I've seen people trying to be entrepreneurs. The bills are coming up against them. You know, the impending doom of an eviction or the lights about to get cut off. And then they just start doing all type of crazy stuff just to survive. And then you're like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Right. But There have been points where the walls are closing in against me, and I'm still calculating, and I'm wondering to myself, why am I so cool? But then I remember,
Exactly.
oh, you've been raised in a family, like you're used to this, like you. And the thing is, it's all about getting to the solution and not focusing on the problem. And everybody's not built for that. Everybody's not built for that. I promise you. And it's not. And believe me, it's not fun. And just because I'm saying I can deal with it does not mean it does not have its repercussions. Even me at 42, about to be 43 next week.
Nice.
In the space that I'm in right now, a lot of people couldn't handle the potential shame of being in the space that I'm in. Because it's not like I don't own 3 houses, I don't drive a Maybach, and I can't fly you out to Tahiti this week and next week. But guess what? How many women I go out on dates with on a regular basis that go, how old are you? Oh, you ain't got no kids? Oh, something wrong with you. Yo, what's wrong with you? You ain't got no kids. Well, why don't you? Well, you said you're an entrepreneur. Why you ain't got this? Why you ain't got that? And it's like, you have to deal with all of that. These are realities. I ain't telling you shit I'm making up. I'm telling you stuff that was actually said to my face, not in a text message or not said in passing. No, women have said this to my face. What's wrong with you that you didn't get a girl pregnant and have a child out of wedlock?
Well, excuse me for loving my damn sperm. Shout out to my godmother.
Yeah, why? So you must be a failure if you don't have money and you got a business and you don't have this and that. And I'm like, I didn't say I didn't have money. I'm saying that I'm not about to go blow just because I might have $5,000 in the bank doesn't mean I'm about to go spend 1,000 of it on you at this particular point.
It's the entitlement. It's the entitlement for me. Like, oh, your money is my money, which goes back to like having to secure your bag and establish boundaries for your bag.
Right. Or the unwillingness to impress a person because they feel like I should impress them. As a man that is trying to court a woman, in this woman's mind, the courtship should include me spending X amount of dollars as an equal out to her value. If I don't spend X amount of dollars, then I am not equaling up to the value of what she feels she is. But she has not spent 1 minute asking me a question or figuring out who I am or what I'm about. You didn't ask me about my family, my history. You don't know nothing about me. But because of their dollar sign amount that you feel as though it is equal to your value, now everything else becomes a mute point and it's not valuable. So therefore, I'm not valuable. And once again, this is another thing as an independent entrepreneur, man, black man, you have to get used to, you have to deal with. And you can't get upset when you do meet those type of women. You just have to understand the issue is with them and it is not with you. And I will shut up now. Now y'all can go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Shut up.
Okay.
You don't have to shut up. No. I mean, there's such a disconnect. There's such a disconnect when it comes to money. Like, from your end, like what you said, Bible, valuable. It makes so much sense. We have this disconnect because then you have some entrepreneurs, JS1, that lead with money. That's all they talk about. That's all they are about. And that's all they bring to the table. They're flashing their Benjamins, that one Benjamin with the 100 ones behind it, like they made something.
I got my hand up. Can I jump in?
Go ahead.
Any person that's about to lead with a material thing has a lack somewhere else.
No,
you should be the most worried about any person that leads or pulls up with you with some Versace on and this and that. Like, let me tell you, all of the OGs that I know that get real money, I'll holler at you later. I'm gonna call you.
Yeah, call me later.
I got you. All right, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Tomorrow I'm gonna come out.
Happy birthday, nigga. I got you. So I apologize. But what I will say is any person, and I'm telling you, all of my mentors, the ones that's getting millions of dollars, that are managing multi-platinum artists, all of my mentors, they wear regular clothes. They walk into the building. There was a bunch of them at the award ceremony and wasn't nobody dapping them up or talking to them. Why? Because they low key and they don't want that attention. And if you're going to deal with them, you're going to deal with them because you want to deal with them, not their money. And if you want to deal with me, deal with me. Don't deal with my money. My money comes and goes. And like, I don't care if you're a millionaire or billionaire. Money comes and goes. At the end of the day, when we get old, you got to deal with me. Mm-hmm. We're going to be sitting in the house together. Ain't no amount of money going to stop us from having to communicate. We got to communicate. If we got a kid, we gonna have to deal with the kids. So like any woman that's more into that versus into me, I'm happy they choose something else. Please go find another dude. Go find a drug dealer. Y'all go get locked up together and be Bonnie and Clyde, whatever makes you happy. That's not me. And it took me a long time to get to that place. I'm not going. The person you're talking to today took a lot of lumps and bumps and bad relationships and bad choices to the point where I've learned to be comfortable with me and happy with me. If you rock with me, then we can rock together. If not, I'm cool sipping on my cognac by myself, smoking my cigars in the crib. I'm good. So I'll try to begin. Y'all can do your thing.
I don't want to like repeat a lot of the stuff. I mean, because between you and Brittany, you guys have said everything that I've been like dying to say this entire episode. So I'm just kind of just sitting in the background chilling. But you know, this whole we have to show our wealth thing has to stop. Like, we've been dealing with it for years, and I know where it stems from. We all know what it stems from. It's all based in, like, if I show this other white man that I can hold my own, he not gonna hassle me. He's not gonna think I'm but that's a whole nother thing. So that mentality has to stop. The idea of, you were saying, not dealing with these type of people who come at you sideways because you say you are entrepreneur. Like you said, like, that money belongs to my bills, it belongs to my business, and a little bit of it belongs to me. What little bit belongs to me, I can slice off a piece of that and share it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's just so. Man, y'all said everything. Like I said, I don't want to repeat because you guys have said it already, and I love it. I just absolutely love it. This is a great conversation. This is a great conversation that needs to be had, especially for those who are in the grind mode, who are in the weird space of not being able to do everything that they want to do, even though, like you said, Jay, you may have the actual funds in your pocket, in your bank account. Like, but again, as an entrepreneur, we are truly invested in birthing our baby.
Yeah, and no, go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry.
No, finish. Go ahead.
No, it's just there's so many layers to entrepreneurship that my mind has been open tonight. I've dated barbers. I've dated, people that own businesses. Every type of entrepreneur gave me the same outcome, and I had to learn for myself that dating an entrepreneur was not for me, and that's okay. One thing that I like, one of my love languages is quality time. And for me, that looks like being able to date my partner when I want to date him, having that access. So I dated a barber, and he's been cutting hair all day. So for me, another one of my love languages is words of affirmation. So he's cutting hair all day, and he's giving me all the shape up. Like, Charles is nice. Charles always has the bomb haircuts and shape ups. So this barber has to be focused. He cannot have a phone in one hand, texting me on the phone with me, checking on me, and making sure he got y'all looking clean. So there are long periods of time when I didn't talk to him. And so that lack of dialogue gave me a lack of interest. So by the end of the day, it's like 8 o'clock, 8:30. So I'm thinking he's ready to just talk it up, yak it up with me, and go out on a date. He's like, hey, I'm tired. I've been talking all day.
Talking all day, on his feet,
my
all
feet all day.
Using his hands all day, so his hands are tired. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see that. You see your side. You see, like, I ain't talked to you all day.
Exactly.
I need your attention. I need your affection. I need this. And we have to kind of be in that compromise mode when we're dealing with these type of people. Like, you can't just expect them to be, everything that you want them to be right when you want them to be. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Word. I will.
For example, my dad, right? My dad, when him and my mom were dating and before they got married, He moved up here to Baltimore with us. He was living in Southern Maryland, closer to his job down in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
He would fight both beltways to get to work, and then fight both beltways
My
to get home.
gosh. Wow.
And then, you know, my mom at the time, she wasn't working, so, you know, she didn't have any adult conversation throughout the day. So, you know, like, he would come home and she'd just be like, well, and he'd be like, and then she would feel upset because she's not getting what she thought that he would give her. So I told her, I was like, look, give that man about 30, 40 minutes when he walked through the door. Say hi. Give him a kiss on the cheek. And then leave him be. And I promise you, he'll come back. And then he'll just, I mean, and it has been working ever since. And I love the fact that I even had that idea to give to him.
Wow.
We have to have that kind of compromise, that kind of consideration when we're dealing with entrepreneurs. And especially if you're not an entrepreneur, or even if you're an entrepreneur yourself, you have to understand y'all gonna be ships in the night passing each other. You got to make the time that you have together count, make it work, and make it memorable.
Yeah, I want to. Everything you just said is phenomenally right. I always try to tell individuals when I'm having discussions with them about my life is that I do my best to try to see both sides of the situation. So say if I did spend the whole day working and, you know, I come back home and I'm exhausted, and I've had plenty of those situations where I'm dating somebody, so they might come over to my crib after work, or I might, you know, they might, yo, why don't you come over here and chill with me after you get off work? All right, cool. When we get together, I will communicate, hey, I'm exhausted, give me X amount of time. But I always try to make sure that, you know, like, if you want to talk, then I can try to take some time to have a conversation with you. Or like, give me X amount of time today to like do me, and then tomorrow or whenever I will schedule when we can have the 100% attention to be about you. The other side is when I am with my lady after work, I try not to add on more stuff. Mm-hmm. So like, if other people want to have a meeting or whatever, like, no, I'm gonna be at home. I'm gonna have dinner with Shorty, and like, this is our time. Even if I'm tired and I'm exhausted, I'm gonna try to block the outside world. So even though I'm not at my best, at least I can give you my full attention. I'm not gonna come home, be tired, and then like I'm gonna turn on a video game or turn on television and ignore you, and you sitting there looking at me while I'm doing something else. It's like, nah. Like, now, look, I'm tired. We can both lay down here on this bed.
Listen,
and you can talk
to
me.
Sleep. I promise. I'm gonna fall asleep first. Like, I promise.
Right. But I'm gonna try to give you that time, and I feel like that's a responsibility. If you want to, and I feel like if you're an entrepreneur and you decide to engage in a relationship, understand that relationship has responsibilities the same way the business does. Absolutely. That means the individual you are dating requires A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. Now, what I will, and I've said this in the past, and I've said this in my own dates, in the first few dates, you need to tell me what you need.
Tell me what you
Please
need.
Don't send me into a guessing game, or you didn't figure it out, or no. Tell me what you need, so that I can execute on what you need, so that you don't feel unappreciated or you don't feel seen. Because I am a man, meaning that I'm really only good at paying attention to one or two things at a time. So look, if you tell me what you need, like, and I'm guilty of this, I'll come home with the flowers, pop the flowers on the table, and here's your candy. Yes. Look, I gotta go upstairs and I gotta get this meeting going. But you wanted the flowers and the candy because that's what you needed. I gave it to you. It wasn't sexy. I didn't come in with the lingerie on to give you the flowers. But look, babe, I love you. This is this. Look, I gotta go do what I gotta do. And understand, it's not a passive, disrespectful thing. It's, babe, you told me this is what you need. I'm executing on what you need so you can understand that I love you, but understand that, like, yo, there's things going on. If you want to be with me and you want to ride with me, cool, you can ride with me, but understand that we got to conduct ourselves in a certain way when we in certain environments. And I feel like if both parties can understand the needs of each other, and we respect each other enough to give, at least try our best to give what each other needs, it can function.
And JS, I love that. JS, I do. I appreciate that. We also have to explore the more realistic approach as well, that sometimes it ain't gonna work. sometimes there is no compromise. In some of my cases, there are people that will come home tired and they'll say, well, come play with me. Okay, that's fine for one day. But then the next day it's like, oh, I'm tired. Come chill with me. Okay. The day after that, yeah, man, really not feeling it. Come over. So it's like, where does compromise become me just giving in and complacency? Where, you know what, she understands that I'm hustling, I'm grinding, I'm an entrepreneur. She can come meet me at my level. But at what point can you meet me at mine? Even though you will be tired, can you push through and come to a happy hour with me? Can you push through that exhaustion? Because I've waited all day for you. Can you push through that exhaustion and make time for me?
And that's why I feel like
it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay to be like, I don't want to compromise. Like for me, I wasn't compromising. I'm not.
Okay, I hear you, and I am sorry that situation happened to you, and I'm happy you've gotten into a happier situation. However, I will say that once again, it goes back to what I said before. If you agree to be a part of a relationship, a part of the responsibility of being in that relationship is to adhering to the rules that are a part of that relationship. So if my girl communicates, I need 2 days a week, then, you know what I'm saying? Either I got to figure out 2 days a week, or I have to say this ain't going to work for me.
And I love that.
And now, mind you, I've always told any woman I've ever dated, like, yo, all right, if you need a day, I'm going to give you that whole day. Meaning that I'm not answering calls. I'm not going to go out. My mom could call crying. And my dad could be like, I need you. Nah, I'm with Shorty. Like, whatever she want to do, we can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing I need you to give me space on is I am not Cyrano de Bergerac. So, like, if you're looking for some overture of romantic gestures, like, so I need you to write me a poem, and it's gonna be 16 pages.
I'm trying to write a script.
And then you're gonna whisk me away into a chariot of love. Like, I'm not gonna do that. But if you say, babe, I want to go to such and such museum, and I would like to try a different food place, and all right, cool, I can find a museum. I'll try my best to find a place that we haven't eaten before, and I'm gonna make the whole day about you. And that's great. And honestly, I don't even need every day of the week for my girl to be up underneath of me. And I just would like to give a little pushback. A lot of times that want to be seeing and want to be up underneath of the person is the woman wanting to be underneath the man. And then they try to flip it on, like, I was up underneath you. Well, no, babe, because I would have gotten to sleep a lot faster if you hadn't came over. But anyway, I'm not trying to kick. I'm not going
to push back tonight because we almost at the end of our show.
I'm not going to kick up no dust. But it is definitely. I'm gonna tell all of my dudes, if you watching right now, bro, it's your responsibility. Like, if you talking about you the man in a relationship and you the head and you this, it is definitely your responsibility to make sure that what your girl needs is met. The same way the responsibility of the job and your business is, your girl is a responsibility, and she's a part. She has things that she needs. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be in a relationship, but that means that I have to do what's necessary to maintain. But hold on, ma'am. I appreciate you showing me love, but I'm a fat black nigga. So I ain't no skinny tall niggas, because y'all let skinny tall niggas get away with murder. You know what I'm saying? So them skinny tall with the 6-pack niggas and with the 10 boots, and they sold drugs and they got keys overseas.
Because I've seen people look like Biggie Smalls get away with murder too. Like,
Biggie Smalls had a lot of money, and he had a lot of shit going on, so he could get away with it. But like I'm saying, I'm in a different space. So, but I mean, like, being in a space that I am, being conscious of who I am and what my physical situation is or whatever, I make sure to do what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Because to me, relationships are important. Let's not forget, I just said my parents just celebrated 42 years of marriage. That ain't had nothing to do with the 10 years they was together before that. That ain't got nothing to do with my grandparents being married and dying together. My mother's side grandparents, like, my family is married people. So to me, the value of marriage is different than these other niggas. Like, they you talking about them niggas, they had single family. Niggas wasn't there. They don't even know their daddy name or their mom. No, I know both of I know my grandparents' names. That's the shit y'all need to be asking on a date. Do you know your grandparents' name? But we ain't gonna get into that. I ain't gonna do that. But it's different. It's different when you trying to build a legacy, when you're trying to maintain the last name for the next generation. It's different what I'm doing. And I come from a family of strong women. So my mother would be done pop me upside the head if I was to be disrespecting a woman or not treating my, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta treat my girls because my mother and my aunts and all of them, they looking at me. Everything I do, if I don't get her a plate or you didn't pull a chair out for her, what the fuck wrong with you? Like I come from that family. So I don't have that leeway. So like I gotta function a certain way. So that's just the reality of it.
That's wild.
Ladies, he's single. I'm just letting y'all know.
I'm trying to tell y'all better
They
get
don't
him,
care.
man. Y'all better get him,
They don't
man.
care. I don't sell drugs, so they ain't fucking with me. It's all good. I ain't selling crack.
Man, I tell you, man, listen, this has been such a great conversation. And whenever we have guest professors on the show, we always give them a little shine at the end.
Yeah.
So please, JS1, this is your time. We're rolling out the red carpet for you. Please tell the world who you are, what you're doing, what you got on the horizon.
Yes.
Tell the world. It's all on you, buddy.
Name is JS1. I work in the cleaning department for Dayton University. So if you spill something in the classroom, I'm gonna come and clean it. So make sure that please y'all respect the classroom and respect the teachers. But outside of that, if you're a media person and you want to be a part of a network of people, you want to build with other groups of people, please join our media back channel. Hit us up, Baltimore Media Coalition. If you would like to enjoy a way more ratchet and uneducational experience, you can come to my podcast, The Supply House. I have a YouTube channel called BBC Life with a bunch of different shows on it. And I want to thank you guys for allowing me to come and be on your platform today and just chop it up. I super appreciate it. I love this platform. I think you guys do a phenomenal job. Please keep it going. And please keep helping young Black people or old Black people find better relationships or think differently about relationships because it's super important. Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our newest guest professor / custodial engineer.
Clean up on our six.
Come back anytime. So next week, are we celebrating with you at Sizzle? What's up? What's the move?
You can come and hang out. Wait a minute. What am I doing on Thursday? Thursday, I am in an undisclosed restaurant for dinner. If you two would love to join me, I will send you guys the invite, and you are more than welcome to come and celebrate with me and my personal friends. It is not a public function. I don't think I had anything for Sizzle planned. I'm here. It's funny because I'm here at Sizzle now, but I didn't. Yeah, I just do something in private. I'm not really. Don't nobody want to come see me at no birthday party, so I just kick it with the homies.
You know what, fam? See, you and me was split like at birth or something because we got this.
Yeah, like I mean, when I tell y'all the place, y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm fucking with it. It's a fat boy's dream. The restaurant, it's just a fat boy's dream. I'm just going and for those that's thinking that this is a Golden Corral, no, that's not the birthday move.
I didn't think that, but
that's not the birthday move. But I do love Golden Corral, but I don't. Not for the birthday.
Golden Corral, I promise you. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking some time out and hanging with us tonight and giving us the real lowdown of dating as an entrepreneur. One last little thing.
I thought y'all was gonna get nasty. Y'all are so demure. This was so light. You ain't really get crazy.
Have you not seen our shows, JL? We talk about fish smells and sex.
But there wasn't no fish smells tonight. It was so demure. Y'all was so respectful.
Okay, well, you know what, JS1? Have you ever had an experience with a woman in which you smelled like fish?
Yes.
What did you do?
I hit it, and then once I bust my nut, I left.
Wait, whoa. JS1. Wow. So you mean to tell me, even though it smelled like tilapia and cod, you kept going?
Hey, I needed that nut. I was probably coming off a drought. Hey, sometimes.
Okay, all right. Now that I can understand. I don't condone it, but I understand.
Hey, y'all can feel the way you want to feel about it. It is what it is.
On a good note, JS1, are you insane? So you mean to tell me you're in a hot, sweaty room and she opens her legs and it smells like seriously fried cod and nothing in you wanted to stop and say, sis,
I was
Southern
younger.
is a little
I was
pungent.
younger. Like you talking to the
Okay.
42-year-old me. I'm gonna say no now, but when I was younger,
like 23, 25.
No, how young is y'all? Like,
I would even say
38?
worse.
Like
Probably
37?
29, maybe 30. I might have, dipped into some unsafe waters, but I had the condom on sometimes too. Hey man, I'm gonna get that yum yum. I mean,
did you look her like? Did you wait? No. Now that we
The
went there, now
reality
we gotta go
is-
there. Did
Go
you
ahead,
talk
go
to her
there.
after?
Did I what?
Talk to her after.
No, hell no.
Oh, it was a one and done.
Yeah, it's definitely a one and done.
Did you smell it before you went down there? Was it like permeating through her clothes?
No. It was just when the drawers dropped. The aroma.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What the fuck? Yeah.
We got real catfished.
So you
Yeah.
persevered.
Yeah.
Okay. So you persevered through.
Yeah.
Fellas, how many of y'all done persevered through some? I'm done. Good night, y'all.
I'm saying that's it. That's light. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
hey,
light.
let me tell you something. If I may say,
you gotta come to our
DU After Dark.
our DU After Dark show.
Yes.
I'm with you. But I would like to say this: as much as people say that love and vagina is attainable like water and chicken, it's not. For some people, it is not as attainable where you can just go down the street and pick up something. So some of us who have to try a little bit harder, you appreciate once you get it. You know what I'm saying? Not now saying you're gonna go back and wife it. Well, you know what I mean? 2:00 in the morning, you done worked on it all day long, and she finally get up. Nigga, you about to go. I'm not about to. I'ma smash this. I worked for this. Now I didn't know it was gonna be like that when I got in it, but I worked on it.
So you said I done committed to the crawfish, so I might as well just stick it out.
There you go.
Right. Perseverance.
Exactly.
Determination.
And that's all I'm gonna say from that point. That I'll end it there. Thank you.
JS1, you are my champion of courage. You really persevered through the poundfish. It's cool. Saving the swordfish one day at a time. It's cool. Well. Okay.
Man, just wanted to be honest. Just wanted to be honest.
It is cool. I mean,
this nigga, how you a champion?
I mean, so people gonna come up here and start faking with you. You gotta be real. Like don't come on Dayton University lying. Let's be honest and be real. Come on, bro.
Seriously, because you got some men that would be like, if I smell that,
nah.
How many y'all done
I done fucked some big chicks, some like really 300-pound chicks. I done had some super ugly ones, girls with bullet wounds. I mean, I done had some nights, bro. Like Baltimore, I was wilding in my 20s.
Did you put your finger in it?
Yeah. I hit it when it was on its period. I was doing all type of wild stuff in my 20s and early 30s.
Like, After Dark. All right, Charles, hit the end button before we lose our.
I'm sorry to our podcast listeners.
The show ended really well, and then
we was on a roll, and then we effed it up by bringing y'all.
I know. I wish we could delete the last 5 minutes, but we good. It's State University.
We'll do something
we have a show next week. We about to get reported. Thanks, JS1.
I'm going to give everybody like 15% off or something. Like Jesus Christ.
75.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all been listening to Dayton University again.
Yes, JS1, thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
Charles, along with Professor Brittany and our special guest JS1. Thank y'all so much. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye.